Okay, hello, good evening, everyone. Come back to our December week 4. Okay, supposed to be December week 4 lah, but I think I'm gonna go as progress. I'm gonna do week 3 stuff first, and then maybe Friday we'll do week 4 stuff. Okay, because for us to like go week 4 first and then go back to week 3, that would be a little bit weird. Okay, so later Friday I'm gonna repeat some of the stuff lah, because I believe some of the students are not here. You guys are not here. Okay, so where were we? I think we finished here already. Okay, so just a quick revision. How do we test for photosynthesis again? We do the iodine test. Remember, we put iodine. If there's starch, iodine will change from brown, yellow to blue, black, or dark blue. That means starch is present. So if starch is present, that means glucose is present. That means the plant has been doing photosynthesis. Okay, you already know this. So how do we test this? We can use this to test whether we need carbon dioxide or not. If there's no carbon dioxide, the leaf doesn't turn blue black. Oh yeah, here's the thing. Before you test for starch, put it in boiling water first to soften the leaf, to break the cell wall. Next, to put in ethanol to remove the chlorophyll. Then if you want, you can wash it with hot water again. So when you do this, then the leaf has no more color, only you can do iodine test, then you will see something. Okay, so carbon dioxide, if there's no carbon dioxide, this thing won't change color. This one got carbon dioxide will change color. This one no sunlight won't change color. This one got sunlight will change color. Okay, and as I said last week, plants, they need fertilizer. Okay, the two main fertilizer is nitrate and magnesium. Okay, nitrate and magnesium. All right, anyway, where were we? Yeah, I think we haven't gone into here, right? 1.3. Okay, plants and water. So why is water so important for a plant? Okay, as you know, you need to water your plant. Okay, so water in plant has 4 functions. Okay, so number 1, water is for support, especially for herbaceous plant, like the 草本植物, the soft plant. Okay, so a watered plant has their vacuoles full, making their cells turgid. Now, what is turgid? Turgid means full or tight. Okay, so as you can see, all right, let me draw. If a cell has no water, okay, let's say this is a plant cell. This is a plant cell. If the plant cell has no water, the vacuole is very small. So the cells are very flat. Okay, so this is the cell wall. Okay, and then the cell is very flat. So if you water the plant, the vacuole will be very swollen, and the plant cell will be very swollen too. You see the whole thing like swollen. So when you water a plant cell becomes swollen, they will stand up straight. Especially for herbaceous plant. If you're a woody plant like tree, a tree you don't need to water a tree. Even a tree has no water, the tree won't die because they can still stand straight up. But if let's say let's say you're talking about like grass, if you don't water the grass, okay, grass will just wilt and then they will die because they don't get enough water. So this is why. Have you noticed something? I'm not sure whether you have seen this before. If you go to supermarket, right? If you go to those supermarket, like what Village Grocer Jaya Grocer whatever grocer if you go there first thing in the morning, like 10 in the morning when they open, or 9:30, you know what they do? They arrange their veggie already. Okay, you have the veggie section. What they do is they will use a pump spray and then they will spray water to your veggie. Why? Because when you spray water to the veggie will absorb water and then they'll become turgid. So your veggie becomes more attractive. People will want to buy your veggie more. Did you know this? Even you can do this for the same thing too. Okay, if your let's say you bought veggie like 5 days ago, you put it in your fridge. 5 days later, you take out, the veggie looks very dry already. But the veggie is not bad. Okay, it's not rotten or anything. So what do? You take a bucket of cold water. Must be cold. Cold water is more refreshing. Okay, it's more concentrated. It's more dense. Okay, density is higher. So you take a bucket of water, you put some ice, you put your veggie in, you wait for 10 minutes, your veggie will swell back into life. Must be cold water, because cold water has higher density the plant can absorb more water when it's cold. So the veggie will swell back to the original size, and your veggie looks cool and awesome again. You can cook it now. This is what we do. Okay, so for support, okay, some veggie they just look wilted because they just don't water them. That's why they look very not attractive. Okay, that's why water is important for support. Next, transport. Xylem vessels transport water and mineral salt from the root to the leaf. Okay, since you learned this last year, right? Our body has a heart. The heart will pump blood around our body. Okay, our blood will carry our nutrient. The blood will pump, the heart will pump the blood around. But here's the thing, for plants, they use water to carry their nutrient. Okay, they use water because plants, they don't have blood. But here's the thing, plants, they don't have a pump. So what they do is they use the sun. Okay, when the sun is shining on the plant, they will evaporate their water, and then the water will move up a plant. You see, transport. This is plants' transport system. Very, very smart. Okay, so transport. Next, cooling. When water evaporates, like I said just now, plant will evaporate water. So when they evaporate their water, it carries heat away, cooling the plant down. This is how plants sweat. Okay, similar to evaporation of sweat from our skin. By the way, this process is called transpiration. Okay, transpiration, which is the same as us sweating. When we sweat and we cool down ourselves, it's called perspiring, sweating. When plants evaporate water to cool themselves, it's called transpiration. It's almost the same thing. Okay, it's just that transpiration also helps them transport to move the water up. Okay, like I said, they don't have a pump. They use transpiration to lose water. I see this is a leaf. When they lose water, they will draw water up from the stem and the root. So water will move up all the way the plant. You see, very smart. They use the sun as their pump. Okay, so this is why, okay, fun fact, just to tell you this, how much plants lose water per day? Okay, every day, plants will lose 90% water. 90%. Okay, that means all the water they absorb when they do photosynthesis from around 7 a.m. to around 7 p.m. They do it in 12 hours. So in that 12 hours, all the water they absorb, they only use 10%. 90% is evaporated. You might say, sir, then isn't that a stupid design? They absorb so much water, then they lose it all for what left? You see, this is purposefully done. When plants, they absorb water, when they lose water to the surrounding temperature will drop. When one tree does it, you don't feel anything. But when a forest does it, every tree, when they do it, okay, when they evaporate water, you have water vapor around you. That's why forest area feels cool. Okay, this is one of the way to stop themselves from catching fire. This is why you see, in a very big forest area, as long as you don't go and cut down the trees, you don't go and cut their trees down, you will never see forest fire. Okay, because every one of them do transpiration, every one of them cool down, so every air around them is cool, so they won't catch fire. Here's the thing, when you start cutting trees, when you start cutting more and more trees, when there's less tree in the forest, there's less transpiration. When there's less transpiration, it is very easy for them to catch fire. This is why every year in like California or in Australia, they have forest fire lah. Do you know this? Forest fire is like it's like a yearly thing for them. Because in California and in Australia, during their summer, it can get really hot, like stupid hot. Okay, my mom is in Australia. Okay, she tells me that in summer, okay, summer in Australia, it can be as hot as like 40 degrees. Okay, it's like hotter than us. So when you have that much of heat and when there's not enough plant around, so they will easily catch fire. This is how they get forest fire. So this is why you don't cut forests. Yes, you cut some of them, you might say, I only cut like a few, I leave a few there. You can start a forest fire because you are reducing their transpiration. So it is best that you don't touch forests, just leave it them as it is. Okay, for a reason. All right, next, photosynthesis. You see, water is one of the raw main ingredients. You see, you need water for photosynthesis. When there's no water, you don't have photosynthesis. This is how we test this. Okay, by doing the iodine test. Okay, so four function support, transport, cooling, and photosynthesis. Okay, so make sure you water your plant. So this is how plant lose water by the way. Okay, can you see this red color stuff here? Okay, this red color is the xylem. I think I told you this last year. Xylem is the vessel, is the pipe that transports water. Xylem goes from the root all the way to the leaf. Okay, so if I were to draw a tree, okay, let's say this is a tree, that's the root, and then this is the leaf. Okay, this is a simple drawing. You have xylem that goes from here all the way up to the leaf. Okay, I'm only drawing you one, but there's millions and millions of pipes going up. Okay, it's like a straight continuous pipe. Imagine this as a straw. Xylem is like a straw. It's like a very long straw that draws water up from the soil. Okay, keeps drawing up water, keeps drawing up water. Okay, I think you learned this last year. You take celery, you know, that veggie celery, you put it in red color solution. After days, okay, when you cut the celery open, you see red colors inside the celery. That's the xylem because red water goes through the xylem, so the xylem got stained red color. So that's the xylem. As you can see, red color here. That's the xylem. Okay, so you see how the xylem lose water. Xylem will give water to the surrounding cell. Okay, they will give water here because they're doing photosynthesis. They're doing photosynthesis. So some of the water is lost, is evaporated. Do you remember what is this layer called? Okay, this is called your spongy mesophyll. Okay, why is it called spongy? Because it's like a sponge lah. You have air in between lah. It's like a sponge here. So same thing lor. It's like a sponge here. Can you see the air spaces here? So the air space here is for purpose one. They have air space so that water can evaporate out into the air space. Okay, when they evaporate into the air space, and then they will go out from the stoma. Remember the stoma? Stoma is the hole underneath the leaf. So they will lose water to the surrounding. Okay, so when they open their stoma during daytime, they will lose water out here. So when the cell here all becomes dry, there's no more water. Okay, they will take more water from the xylem. Okay, and then xylem will take water from the stem. Okay, stem will take water from the root. Root will take water from the soil. So the water will just keep flowing up a plant the whole day until at night, 8 p.m., no more sun. They close this thing, stoma close. This whole column of water will stop. The next day, 7 p.m., the sun comes out again. They keep doing this again. So this is how they transport their water. Okay, they pump water around them without a pump, without a heart. Isn't this amazing? This is why plants can live a very long life because they don't have a pump. Our pump can only function for 70, 80 years if it's healthy. That's why you live up to 70, 80 years old. Then when your heart stops pumping, then you die. Okay, maybe you can live up to 90, who knows? Okay, if your heart is really that healthy. Okay, you get what I mean? So this is how they transport their water. Okay, so next, okay, there as you can see here, most of the water that's taken up by a plant's root is eventually lost from its leaves in the form of water vapor. So they lose water vapor. So this is why when they lose that 90% of the surrounding, have you been to a forest before? If you have been to a forest, it feels humid. The air feels wet. Because of this thing, they lose water to the surrounding. That's why it feels wet. Okay, they lose water to the surrounding. Okay, so this is what happens if you look at this herbaceous plant, this is not a tree. If you don't water them, they will wilt. Okay, but if you put water to them, they will absorb the water and then they will become turgid. All the cells become full, and now they stand up straight. Very important, especially for herbaceous plant. Okay, non-woody plant. Okay, as long as the plant has no wood part, they cannot stand straight. You need to water them. Okay, so the photograph on the right shows the same plant after a few hours it's watered. So it stands straight. Okay, so let's go to the next part, which is our flower. Okay, our exercise is not enough. Maybe Friday before our class, I'll give you more exercise because there's not enough exercise for this chapter. Hang on, guys, give me 5 minutes. I'll go to the toilet for a while. Okay, let's continue. All right, so 1.4, flower. Okay, so this one is actually part of the reproduction. I don't know why they split it out. Okay, I'm sure you learned reproduction last year, right? But this is the reproduction of plants. Okay, so let's look at flower. Flowers are the reproductive organs of a plant. I'm sure last year, not last year, this year, but I'll just refer it as last year. Okay, so last year, when you learn reproduction, you know that a male has a penis, okay? Females have vaginas. So flowers are like the penises and vaginas of a plant. If you think about that way, okay? That's why I don't know about you, I just find giving flower to a person weird. Okay? Giving flower to a person is like giving plant penises and vaginas to a person. Okay, hey, I love you so much. Here, have this plant penis, have this plant vagina. So that's what they are. Okay, because flowers are the penises and vaginas of a plant. Okay, that's a weird way if I put it this way. All right, so anyway, that's like a flower. Okay, that's a flower. So as you can see, flower, okay, they look like this. They have many parts inside. Okay, I'm sure you at least know what is the petal. Okay, petal is that hua ban, that thing beside surrounding a plant. Okay, surrounding a flower, that's the petal. Okay, so I want you to take note of this thing called stamen and these two things called stigma and style, or I'll just call them as pistil. There's another name for it. Okay, pistil. All right, so what is this? Stamen is the male part of a flower. Okay, stamen is the male part of a flower. Pistil, okay, they didn't say pistil in textbook. I don't know why. Okay, I think this is very important. Okay, because pistil is the female part of the flower. Okay, stamen is the male. Okay, because you see men, men is male, okay, and then pistil. I just think of pistol. Pistol is a female. Okay, I don't know. Somehow I just memorize it that way. Okay, so pistil is a female. All right, so you might say, isn't it weird, sir? Why one flower, got male and female part one? Why male got female part one? Okay, here's the thing. This is extra info. Some flowers, they are unisexual. Okay, unisexual. Some flowers, they are bisexual. Okay, what does it mean? Unisexual means one sex lah. Some flowers they have male and female flower. If I'm not mistaken, papaya is like that. Papaya flower has male flower and female flower. Bisexual flower, they have two male and female parts in the same flower. For example, if I remember correctly, it's hibiscus. You know, our national flower, hibiscus, the Da Hong Hua, inside has a male and female part. So if you ask me, okay, here's the thing, guys. Any plant that has flower will produce fruit. Okay, fruit comes from the fertilization of flower. Okay, here's the thing. You see, when a male, when humans when a male and a female they have sex, they get pregnant, they have a children, they have a child, right? So same thing. When flowers they have sex, flower cannot have sex but they can. Okay, but I'll talk about that later. When flowers they have sex, they will have a child. The child is fruit lah. Okay, so all kinds of fruit you have flower. Okay, let me show you. Okay, for example, just now I was saying, right, papaya flower, right? Okay, papaya flower, they are actually unisexual. Okay, they look like this. You see, got male, female one. Can you see? So got male and female. So like I said, every plant that has fruit has a flower. Okay, apple is a fruit, right? So apple has flower too. Okay, let me show you apple flower. Okay, apple flower there. Apple flower looks like this. Apple tree flower. You see? But we don't see this thing because they just plug it down and then they just don't care about the flower. You see, this is apple flower. Even banana is flower too. Okay, they are usually at the end of one big piece of banana. There, it looks like this. There, I don't know about you this thing looks a bit disgusting to me. They are usually hung at the end. Okay, you have a bunch of banana, then at the end is the flower. That's the banana flower. Okay, I don't know lah. This doesn't look very pretty to me. This looks a bit disgusting. Okay, even like orange. Okay, like one of our favorite flowers is orange flower. Okay, we have never seen this before. I have never seen this before. Okay, why are they showing me orange color flower? Okay, orange fruit flower. Sorry. Okay, are they? Okay, but of course, orange has many types. You have tangerine, you have mandarin orange, you have okay, and so on. Okay, they look like this. So as I said, every plant that has fruits, it has flower. You see, this goes the same as this. When you have a flower, you must have a fruit. Same goes to rose. Okay, you know rose also got fruit one. It's just that we don't eat them lah. Okay, rose fruit. Okay, you see, they have fruit one. It's just that we don't eat them lah. This is a rose fruit. Okay, I mean you can eat them, but it's not a very famous fruit lah. So even like chrysanthemum got fruit one. Every flower will have fruit. It's just that some fruit we don't eat. Okay, we don't breed them to eat. Okay, so that's a flower. Okay, as you can see, most flowers are colorful. All right, so you have your petal at the side. Okay, let me repeat this again. Stamen is the male, and then pistil is the female. All right, so let's talk about, oh, sorry, it should be these four. Okay, these four are called a pistil. Okay, which is a stigma, style, ovary, and ovule. They are the pistil. Okay, sorry, I forgot that already. Okay, so what is a sepal? Sepal is these two things here. Whenever you have a flower, you have these two green things at the side. They are to protect the flower. Okay, they are to protect the flower. So when I protect my flower will not get injured lah, because this is a very important part of the flower. All right, so let's look at the male part first. Okay, the male part has something called filament and anther. Okay, filament and anther. This filament has not much function. Their function is just to hold the anther. Okay, so what about this anther? What is this anther? Anther is like the testicle of human. You know what's your testicle? Your bola. As a guy, you have bola down there, right? So that's your testicle. Your testicle, here's the thing, you learned this last year, right? Okay, testicle, your testicles, any testicles for the matter, testicles will produce sperm, right? Testicle produce sperm, right? And then this sperm will go and find ovum. Ovum is produced by ovary. Remember this? When sperm and ovum meet together, you have baby lah. So same thing. You see, this is the testicle. So they will produce sperm, right? Yes, but in plants, we don't call it sperm. We call it, okay, these dots, what do we call it? We call it pollen grains. Okay, pollen grains or pollen. In Mandarin, it's called huafen, pollen. Heard of this thing? So I'm not sure about you, but okay, my house, I got Tyson one. Okay, I have an altar. Okay, if you're a Christian, then you cannot relate to this. Okay, I'm a Buddhist, so I have an altar. So on my altar, my wife will always buy flower for my, okay, because my house got Guan Yin Ma one. Okay, so for Guan Yin Ma, my wife will always buy flower for her. Okay, and my wife really likes lily. Okay, you know lily. Lily has that smell at home. And when you touch lily, let me show you. Okay, this is for, okay, any of you seen lily before? Okay, lily flower. That is the thing. Okay, so lily flower, can you see the middle? This is the one. Okay, can you see the middle, that brown color one? You don't accidentally touch it. When you touch it, your hand is going to be brown everywhere. Why? Because that's the pollen. 那就是那个花粉. That's the pollen. So sometimes when the flower is wilted after a few days, when I clean it for her, when I take it out, if I accidentally touch this brown color part, well, gone case is very hard to wash. Okay, this thing, this brown color thing. Okay, so this is the pollen grain. Okay, so they are the same. You see, how many sperm do you produce? You produce 10 million sperm per day. So when you have sex with a female, okay, next time when you have sex with your girlfriend or your wife, okay, one time you shoot, when you ejaculate, you're gonna shoot like 10 million of sperms. Okay, so same thing. Pollen grains, they produce in large amount. Isn't this like sperm? You see, this is the sperm of flower. Okay, so when you produce like millions of sperm, you go into the female, and then the pollen grain also produce in millions and you go to the female, which is here. Okay, I'll talk about that later. And then this pollen grain, some people they are allergic to it. Have you heard of this? 花粉敏感. So some people they cannot smell flower. Some people cannot smell flower. When they smell flower, this pollen grain goes into the body, it goes to the nose, they will get allergic to it. They will get allergy. They are allergic to it. So if you are in like Western countries during springtime, spring as in when spring comes after winter when spring comes, please don't go to any garden if you're very allergic to this thing, because during springtime is when all the flower will start producing pollen grain. Springtime is when flowers they reproduce. You see, spring they will reproduce, summer they will produce fruit, fall or autumn they will start shedding their leaf, winter they will go into sleep. Okay, so springtime, when spring comes, when all the ice melt, they will start to have flower again, they will start reproducing. So during springtime, if you are very allergic to pollen grain, you go to any garden, you will sneeze until you are crazy, because the pollen grains will be in the air everywhere. Okay, this thing will just go into the air everywhere. When you smell this thing, you will start sneezing. Okay, that's crazy. So same, so you see, flowers and humans we are somehow not so different. We are somehow quite similar. Okay, our testicle produce millions of sperm. Their anther will produce millions of pollen grain. You see, same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, so now, what about the female part? Okay, so that's why I say this filament is not important. Okay, what about the female part? Okay, the female part has a stigma. Okay, it's a stigma. Why is it called a stigma? Because pollen grain will stick here, pollen grain will stick here, so stigma lor. This is how I remember. Okay, stick here. Okay, the pollen grain will stick here, and then style is this neck thing. Okay, do you remember just now I said ovary will produce ovum? Okay, as a female, your ovary will produce ovum. Sperm's job is to come and find your ovum. Here, same thing. This ovary, this bottom here is called ovary. Inside is not called ovum, it's called ovule. See, plant is a bit different. We don't call it ovum, we call it ovule. So almost the same thing, you see. Ovary produce ovum. This is in human. Ovary produce ovule. This is in plant. So what they do is, when pollen grain they stick here, they will come down. Okay, just now I said sperm will swim, go and find ovum, right? Here is the same thing. Pollen grain, okay, they will not swim, but they will grow a root down and come and find ovule. Okay, in fact, there will be like 5 or 6 stick here. Then they will compete, they will race against each other, see who reach the ovule first. Same as your sperm lah. Your sperm, like a few hundred, will chase for the ovum, see who gets there first, who go into the ovum first, then that's the winning one. You are the winning sperm, what? You are sitting here today because you are the winning sperm, what? Right? Out of that few million, you are the winning one. Isn't it awesome? Then you are already born a winner because you're the winning sperm. Okay, so sperm will swim, go and find ovum. Same thing, pollen grain will come here and find stigma. Okay, here's the problem. You might say, sir, humans sperm how to go to ovum? Very easy. You have sex law. Okay, when a male and a female they have sex without a condom, sperm can go to the ovum. But here's the problem. As a flower, how can the pollen grain reach the stigma? Okay, because flower cannot move. You don't see one flower come to the other flower, hey, babe, how you doing? Then they have sex. No, it's not going to happen. Okay, so yes, you have your bees. We have something called pollinating agent. Okay, which is what we call pollination. Okay, you see, pollination is the sex for flower. Okay, for humans, we say we have sex. Okay, we do copulation. But for flowers, they do pollination. This is called 传花粉, 授粉. To pass the pollen grain here, it's called pollination. Okay, never mind. Let's read the 4 points here first. Many flowers contain both the male stamen and the female. Some they call it carpel. I call it pistil. Okay, it's up to you. Both names are acceptable. Reproductive organ. Petals are colorful. Okay, so can you see all these are colorful? Okay, only insect or animal pollinated flowers, I'll talk about that later, that attracts insect or birds. You know, some birds, they will help them do pollination also, like hummingbird. Okay, I'll talk about that later. Some flowers even produce a sweet, fragrant fluid called nectar. What is nectar? I'll talk about it later. Okay, nectar, they will turn into honey. This is how they get honey now. Okay, so the anther produces pollen grain, okay, as I said here, okay, which is a sperm. I can write a sperm here. This is like sperm. The male gamete, I wrote here already. Okay, for you lazy people, okay, it is similar to sperm. The ovary contains ovule, the female gamete, which is similar to ovum. So the point is for sperm to go and chase the ovum. Okay, for the pollen grain to go and chase the ovule. That's why you look at, okay, let me ask you, later you're going to ask your parents, who chased who that during that year, before you were born? Is it your mom? Did your mom chase your dad, or did your dad chase your mom? Let me tell you this, 99% of the time, it's going to be your dad chasing your mom. Okay? This is just a law of nature. Usually you have the guy chasing the female, right? Guy should always be the one initiate, okay? That starts to be initiated. Okay, to initiate to chase the female, because that's the nature. Sperm will go and find ovum. As a guy, you should be the one to talk to the female. Okay, so if you see a girl really like, go and talk to her. She will not come and talk to you, because a girl will usually be passive. As a guy, you need to be more active. You need to be, because that's who you are. Okay, as a guy, you should be doing the chasing. Okay, I'm not being sexist or anything here, but that's just the law of nature. All right, so let's look at pollination. Okay, pollination is the sex of flower. Okay, so when flowers have sex. Okay, so like I said just now, flowers, they cannot move, so they cannot have sex. So what they do is, okay, by the way, the sex is called pollination. Flowers undergo sexual reproduction similar to humans. Okay, in humans, sperms swim to an egg cell or the ovum, and fertilization takes place. Know this already. Fertilization is 受精. Okay, when the sperm and ovum, they fuse together. In flower, however, pollen grains cannot swim. Therefore, they rely on the help of pollinating agent, which is insect, birds, or wind. Okay, basically animals or wind. The transfer of pollen grain is called pollination. Okay, the transfer of your sperm to a female is called sexual intercourse, or copulation, whatever you want to call it. For plants, to transfer pollen grain to the stigma is called pollination. So far. Okay, so they will rely on something called pollinating agent. Okay, pollinating agent, which is insect, birds, or wind. Okay, I don't like to call it bird, I would just call it animals. Okay, because you know why? Do you know there's a pollinating agent that is very unconventional, but it's very important as well. Do you know that bats are a pollinating agent? Okay, bats are a pollinating agent. You know what do bats pollinate? Bats will pollinate durian trees. This is why without bats, you will never have your durian. Okay, durian trees, they don't rely on bees, they rely on bats. This is why you see in Malaysia, in Peninsula Malaysia, okay, which is our Western Malaysia here. Okay, where do you usually find durian plantations? Okay, let's say your favorite is Musang King or D24 or the Blackthorn thing. Okay, any of you like durian here? Okay, I don't. Okay, I'm not a durian person. I absolutely hate durian. Okay, but here's the thing. Where do most durians come from? They come from Pahang. Oh, you don't like it too? Yay. Good. That makes two of us. I don't know why. Durian just smells like onion to me. Okay, for that record, I love onion. Okay, but I would rather eat onion raw than durian. Durian is like the most disgusting shit ever. I cannot accept. Okay, okay. Anyway, so durians they mostly come from Pahang. Have you realized this? Most durian they come from Pahang. Okay, why? There's a reason why. You see, near Pahang, there is this mountain called Banjaran Titiwangsa. Do you study geography? Malaysia has a big mountain called has a mountain range called Banjaran Titiwangsa. Banjaran means mountain range. Okay, we have a mountain range stretching from Thailand all the way down to Johor. That mountain range is called Titi Wangsa. Okay, so Pahang is very near to the mountain range. So mountain has a lot of caves. Who lives in caves? Bats lah. Okay, so this is why most durian plantation, they are near to Pahang because they get a lot of bats there. When you have a lot of bats, they can pollinate your durian tree, you can have a lot of durian. Okay, bats, they don't like anywhere that has people. That's why places in like KL, Selangor, where human population is, very dense, there's a lot of people living one, bats, they don't come here. Okay, that's why you don't see bats in cities. Okay, because bats, they are very, very scared of humans. Okay, yet somehow we eat them. That's how we started this COVID shit lah. Okay, we go and hunt bats and we go and eat. I don't know why. Okay, how about Batu Cave? Batu Cave different lah. Hey, Batu Cave got no bats one. Have you realized this? Have you been there before? Batu Cave got no bats one. You climb to the top. Anyone of you have been to Batu Cave? You climb to the top. Inside the cave is actually a temple. There's nothing inside. Okay, the closest encountered okay, where have I seen bats before? I've seen bats in Langkawi before. In Langkawi, there are a few caves that you can see bats, and they strictly put a sign outside there. You can go inside and see bats, but do not use flash photography because you can only go there during daytime. And as you know, daytime is when the bats are sleeping. Okay, but you have some stupid, dumbass stories. They will take picture using flash. Okay, they will flash the bats. Okay, these people deserve to be drowned lah. Okay, why you want to catch up people's sleep? Okay, Batu Cave is the best. Got or maybe some law. Maybe some law. Oh, really? Okay, how do you know got bats or not? They smell like one. Okay, bats, they will produce this bat shit. Okay, bat shit has a certain smell. It smells smelly and humid. Oh, you've seen before. Oh, I didn't know this. Okay, Batu Cave got bats. That's interesting. Okay, hey, this bat shit is good one. They are a very good fertilizer, especially for durian tree. So this is why you see Pahang, they have a lot of bats. That's why they have a lot of durian trees. Okay, maybe Batu Cave has bats, but not too much lah. Okay, you smell before. You walk into the cave, you can smell one. It's not I take one and smell. Hello, you walk into the cave, you smell one. Very obviously, I don't know. Bat shit has that smell. I can't describe. I can't quite describe it, but it kind of smells like. It smells like shit, but not our human shit. But okay, it smells a little bit like rat shit, but it's humid. Okay, the cave is humid lah. Okay, of course it smells humid. Okay, so that's your bat. Okay, and of course hummingbird is one of the pollinating agent too. Do you know that hummingbird is the smallest bird in the world? So when they go to, okay, you might say, sir, those insects they go to the flower for what leh? You see this is something like a exchange thing. You think these insects will come do pollination for them for free? Okay, of course no, they do it like an exchange. Okay, so flower down here, they have something called nectarine. Okay, nectarine. What is nectarine? Nectarine is the place that they will produce nectar. You know it's nectar, right? Nectar is this sweet smelling, very fragrant liquid. Okay, and they purposefully grow it here. They purposely grow it here. You know why? Because as a bee, let's say there's a bee here. So when a bee wants to get this nectar, the bee will come inside and suck the nectar. And as the bee is inside, okay, the butt of the bee will be here. Have you seen a bee before? A bee is very hairy, right? A bee has a hairy butt, right? So the hairy butt, when they brush through this enter, all the pollen grain will stick to them. You see, this is like an exchange. The flower is like, I produce nectar for you. You can take my nectar for free, but you have to spread my pollen grain for me. So can you see? It's like a mutualism thing. You help me, I help you. I give you nectar, you help me spread pollen grain. So when the bee goes to another flower, so hopefully the pollen grain, when they go inside, they will brush this stigma. This is how they pollinate the flower. Okay, so as you can see here, when an insect comes to a flower to collect nectar, pollens get stuck to the body, okay, because they're very hairy body. When the insect goes to another flower, some pollen grains are transferred to the stigma. Okay, so when you fly to another flower, they will stick to the stigma. You might say, sir, must stick one man? Okay, maybe they don't stick to this flower. Then they go to another flower. Do you know how many flowers one bee goes to every day? A bee goes like 200 flowers per day leh. That's why we say that bees are very hardworking lah, because they really are. For such a small little fella, you can go 200 flowers in one day. That's freaking amazing. Okay, hey, I don't know about you lah, huh? Among all insects, I hate insects, okay? But bees I'm okay. Bees, they are very cute. Okay, bees, they are very cute. They are just hardworking. As long as you don't mess with them, you don't kacau them, they will not sting you. Okay, if a bee stings you, must be you go and kacau them lah. You don't kacau them, you leave them as they are. Okay, hey, they give you your fruits leh, your papaya, your most of our national fruits your mangosteen and everything, they come because of bees leh. Why you want to kacau them? They give you your fruits leh. Okay, not to mention they give you honey too. Hey, you see they collect this nectar already They collect this nectar already What is this nectar? Okay, are there? When they collect this nectar already when they go back to their hive they will collect this nectar. It turns into your honey. Okay, so honey is actually collected nectar. They give you honey, they give you fruit. What's not to like about bees? Bees are really cute. Okay, they're super cool. All right, so pollen grains are transferred to the stigma. So characteristic of insect pollinated flower. Okay, so as a flower, how would you attract insect? Very easy. Number one, you must be colorful and fragrant. That's why you see most flowers that bees go to, they are very colorful. Okay, like I said just now, you see your orange flower, your apple flower, your banana flower, they have some kind of color to them. Okay, compared to like dandelion. Okay, like you see dandelion yeah, we'll write it here dandelion is wind pollinated. Do they have any smell? No. Do they have any color? No. They look very pale because they just use wind. They don't care about insect coming or not. So inside one is usually colorful and fragrant, as you can see. So this is what bees are doing. See, they're cute. Okay, so they have sticky or spiky pollen. The pollen is very sticky, so when they pass through, they will stick to their body. Okay, produce in small amount. They don't produce a lot of pollen because they don't need to. They have short filament to keep the anthers inside the flower, so the insect can brush past them. You see, they purposefully grow this thing short. Okay, whereas if you are wind pollinated, you will grow this thing so long, you will hang this thing outside. Why? So the wind can blow lah. You see? Now, can you see? The anther and the stigma is like sticking outside the flower because they want wind to blow. So they function very differently. Okay, so let me show you a very cool picture. Yeah, let me show you a very cool picture. Okay, do you know what is this? Can you see this bee? Okay, this is I actually found this picture in one of the photography competition. Okay, this thing got why disgusting. Hey, this is awesome, man. You know how hard is it to take this picture? Can you see this is flower? Can you see those yellow dots? Okay, they're like your polystyrene dots. Okay, these are pollen grains. Can you see the bee is very hairy? So when they brush past the pollen grain, they are gonna get all pollen grains all over their body. So when they fly to another flower, they will just pass the pollen grain on. Okay, so if your garden has a lot of bees, chances are you are going to have a lot of fruits. Okay, isn't this cool? Okay, well, so you find this very disgusting, huh? I just find this very cool. Okay, anyway, so hey, this is what Einstein said. Do you know Einstein he once said, he said that if bees were to go extinct today, he said if bees were to go extinct today, humans will go extinct too. Okay, humans will go extinct too. You might say, sir, how is that possible? What has bees got to do with us? Okay, he has a point. You see, most of our fruits, not to say fruits, just most of our food comes from bees. Do you know that? Okay, you see, just like I said, your fruits are your papaya, okay, not durian, your papaya, your nangka, whatever, they all come because of bees. When you have no bees, how do you pollinate flower? When you don't pollinate flower, how do you get, fruits? Not to mention that, okay, you see, most fruits, most grains, like rice, like corn, okay, like soybean, some of them are pollinated by bees too. So if you don't have bees, how do you grow grains? If you don't have grains, how do you have a farm? Your chicken eats grain. Okay, chickens, they eat grain. Cows, they eat grain. Goats, they eat grain. If you don't have all these animals, what are you supposed to eat? You see, even some of them say some cotton. Okay, you know your cotton, your t-shirt is made from cotton. Cotton comes from bees as well. If you have no bees, your cotton, not to say they cannot reproduce, but they will reduce very quickly. So you see, bees are more important than you think. Most of your food and even your t-shirt, everything they come from bees. So bees are more important than you think. So when you see bees next time, don't kacau them, don't disturb them. They're just doing their job. Okay, pity them They are just trying to get the nectar and to go back to their hive and feed it to their queen. That's what they do. They won't kacau you. They won't sting you for no reason. They won't, Okay, a wasp is different. Okay, wasp is a different story. Those nasty son of a bee, you don't mess with them. Wasp is very different. Okay, so do not get confused by bees and wasp. Let me just tell you this. Okay, when you see bees, and bees, they are very cute. You see, bees are usually furry. They're usually very hairy. You see, bees are hairy. You have this bumblebee. Don't you find them cute? Okay, bumblebee is the fatty one. Okay, so they are hairy, you see. But wasps, you see, bees, don't you just find them cute? But wasps and hornets, please don't mess with them. Okay, these are wasps. They don't give a shit about you. Okay, they will attack you in gang and they will kill you. Not even joking. Okay, if you are chased by a school of wasps, please run. For the love of your life, please run. Okay, not cute, not cute, man. I just find them cute. See, bees are so cute. Okay, yeah, they are insects, but at least compared to wasps, don't you find bees are like angels? Wasps are like this. Oh, they are freaking nasty. They are so, hey, wasps is this big, Okay, so you don't kacau bees, bees will not kacau you. But wasps is different. Wasps, you don't kacau them, they will come and kacau you. They don't give a shit. They just want to make your life miserable. So when it's like I said, when you see a wasp or you see hornet, please run. Okay, please run. Okay, or you wear a net or something. Okay, so bees are cool. Okay, bees you know, they don't really kacau you. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so shit, where's my note? Okay, anyway, so let's come back to here. All right, so as you can see, they need to be colorful and fragrant. Okay, basically anything that can attract insects. Hummingbird is the same thing. Okay lah, maybe at least you find this cute lah, right? Okay, hummingbird is the same thing. Okay, hummingbirds, they also come flower for the nectar. Okay lah, at least you find this cute, right? Okay, they are the smallest bird in the world. Okay, hummingbird, they are also there for the nectar. Okay, so they are pollinating agent. Okay, they are pollinating agent. So you have many pollinating agents. You have bees, you have butterflies, you have hummingbird, you have bats as well. Okay, so please guys, bats, they don't suck blood. Okay, bats, they don't suck blood. You watch too much movie already. Bats are not Dracula. They will not turn into vampire and suck your blood. you watch too much movie already. Okay, for the love of God, man, they don't suck blood. Okay, bats are cool. Okay, they suck nectar, not blood. Okay, so anyway, let's look at wind pollinated flower. Okay, so wind pollinated flower is when you use wind to pollinate your flower, as the name says. Okay, so they are the complete opposite of your characteristic. Sorry, I'm checking out my dog. Why is he so quiet? Okay, anyway, so your wind pollinated flower, they are the complete opposite of what we are learning just now. Okay, so just now inside pollinated flower, they need to be colorful and fragrant, right? Okay, wind pollinated flower, they are not at all. They are not colorful, they are not fragrant, they have no smell. Do you know grass has flower too? Okay, next time you're going back to your physical class to your school already, right? You go to your field. Okay, your field has grass, right? Grass has flower too. Do you know this? Sometimes when you sit on your school field, you can actually see like some of the flower like that. Have you seen this? Okay, sometimes in the middle of the field, you can see one flower there, white color one. That's the grass flower. So you see, they are pollinated by wind. You smell them, there's no smell, they have no color because the only thing they do is get blown by the wind and then they just fly everywhere, just like a dandelion. Okay, so not colorful, fragrant. They have smooth pollen because just now rough pollen, sticky pollen is to stick on the bee. Smooth pollen, no need. They are just blown by the wind. So this is just like a dandelion, and they produce a large amount because just now this one is like sniper, very accurate. They ask the bee to go to another flower, so the chances of pollinating is very high. This one, once the wind blows, they don't know where they will go, so they just do it in large amount. Hopefully they can cover everything. So it's like a machine gun. Okay, so it's not accurate at all. So filaments and stigma are long and stick out outside the flower. Okay, so to scatter or catch the pollen. Okay, either their filament is long, the male part will hang outside the flower, or the female part, the stigma, will hang outside the flower. Hopefully they can catch pollen grain. Okay, so let me show this wind pollinated stigma. Okay, wind pollinated flower stigma. Now you see, if I can show any real picture, are there? Okay, there. This was what I showed you just now. Some of the stigma, they're just outside one. Okay, trying to catch any pollen grain that you can. All right, so that's your wind pollinated one lah. So they are the boring flower lah. They have no smell, they have nothing. So you see, here's the thing. Every flower has a certain smell. They are fragrant. This is why your perfume, they're made from flowers. Do you know this? So different flower, they have different smell. This is why you have many different types of fragrance. Different combination of flower, they will give you different smell. This is why you have, different brands of perfume. You have like Chanel, you have like Dior, and different, because they have their own formula, they will produce different kind of smell. Okay, they all come from flower. All right, cool story, All right, so this is your flower, by the way. Okay, I'm not going to go too far because some of y'all are not here today. I think I'll continue this on Friday. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop here because I need to give way for another class really. All right, so I will continue this next, come Friday. Okay, I'll talk about this fertilization come Friday. How does a flower get pregnant and how do you produce fruit and seed? Okay, so anyway, I think I'm going to stop here lah. So thanks for coming. Okay, even though it's a Wednesday, okay, you still came. So I will see you again on Friday. All right, so that will be the last class of the year lah. So please come. Okay, we will summarize everything and I'll see you next year again. All right, so thanks for coming. I will see you again on Friday. Good night and bye-bye.